Whoa. You spill something there?
Nothing. We're good.
We're good?
All the delicious meat is in place.
The beverage is safe?
Yeah.
You know what else is safe? Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to PixelLit.
Do you know what is really weird? I actually expected the theme song to just kick in. I was like, where's the theme song? It's very quiet.
What are you talking about? It's playing right now.
It's playing. Oh, there it is. I was not listening. This damn cheap set of headphones.
So hey there, everybody. My name is Kevin alongside Phil, as always. And today we are diving into a brand new Halo book by Willaim C. Dietz called The Flood.
The Flood.
Look at that. I don't know if that's going to record backwards.
You always get like the trade. I get like the shitty beat up trade, and you get the nice.
I like a good looking book. I like to keep it. It's like, ooh, this is sexy.
It looks good. It looks good.
It looks good as Master Chief is being consumed by tentacles. This is our first book that. This is our first in a series. How do you even put this? This is our first book that we've read the second in a franchise. It's our first double dip in a franchise.
Yeah. But it makes sense because you people love
Halo. Let's be honest. People love the extended world of Halo, I think, or they love to hate it. I don't know. I mean, we haven't really heard one way or the other. I think people like it.
People seem to like it. Yeah, it was our most popular episode.
Oh yeah, the first episode of our Halo series is our most popular episode by far.
Of last year. So and Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh, Happy New Year.
It's officially 2022.
Yes. Actually, yes, it is officially 2022. It will have been 2022 for a couple of weeks, I believe, when this episode goes out.
Oh, yeah, good point. We got another special thing.
We just came off of World of Power Mega Man 2 with Scott Dicewander. Right. I hope you all enjoyed that. That's special treat.
That's a guest we've wanted to hang out.
Yeah, we've been wanting Scott on the show for a while, and I think we found a nice way to have him on. But
absolutely,
Mega Man's basically a Spartan, right?
I mean, yeah. He's just more modular, you know. You
can take him apart. You can put him in a box. He doesn't need cryo storage.
No, exactly. He blinks into a little ball or beam of light when he enters and leaves. So theoretically, he could probably fit into any little storage space you need.
Yeah,
that's what those little E canisters are.
Yeah,
it's failed Mega Man.
That's his energy.
It drains their life force.
Drinking the essence of his failed brethren.
Oh, where's that fan fiction? Holy shit.
As he approaches the E container, you could hear it whispering, "Kill me."
Mega Man stared at the E, blinking off and on. "I will," he said. Crack, like a can of Coke.
I was hoping I had an unopened can of water, but I don't.
Not this time. What's your tasty beverage today?
It is a Good and Gather, which is the Target brand, I believe, bubbly water. And it's cranberry citrus.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like cranberry or citrus. It just tastes like bubbly water. But, you know.
Okay, there's that at least.
It's fun to imagine. This is like the flavor on a lot of these flavored bubbly waters is it's like a writing prompt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when you're just trying to imagine what it should taste like. It'd be like, well, as a suggestion, we say cranberry citrus.
Yeah. And if you don't like that, try tobacco plum. Just get in there. Get your creative juices flowing. Why not?
So, Halo. The Flood of Reach.
The Flood of Reach, yeah. and this is the first one that actually, this is based on the first Halo game.
This is based on the first Halo game.
Combat Evolved.
And with the exception of some scenes of dialogue with the Covenant, which we'll get into, it's pretty beat for beat, the game.
Yeah.
Because the prologue starts with an officer, 3rd class, Sam Marcus. Don't get attached to him.
Nope. Please don't.
And
I don't know, Kevin. Based on how things went last time, we might need to make sure that he doesn't come back from the dead and is like a long-standing, well-respected and appreciated character.
Yeah. Our foot was in our mouths, collective mouths, last time. But fair to say, let's just talk about it. Basically, Sam Marcus, we're getting all this backstory about Sam Marcus, who is he's a tech officer. He's got a wife who he hasn't seen in years, and he misses
he's working
her
on board the Pillar of Autumn.
He's on the Pillar of Autumn. He misses her dearly. And basically,
which is never a good sign, by the way.
It's never a good sign. And
don't miss your family.
Don't miss your
like
family.
These.
Don't be that close to retirement either.
No, you're just. It's not going to end well for you.
No, it's not. And he gets a call to go down to the cryo stations and unthaw somebody. And he's basically says, is it who I think it is? Now we don't get confirmation on who he thinks it is quite yet, because we have a jump in scenery over to a Covenant character.
Yeah, and this is the first time. Now it bears pointing out that this book is not written by the same author as The Fall of Reach.
No,
this particular book is written by Willaim C. Dietz, who I tried briefly to look up information on that author, and I didn't find anything. But that might partially be because the book is filled to the brim at the end with, like, where normally there would be an about the author section, it's just filled with Halo ads. Like, just like for toys and the next book and the games, and here's like collectible frameable art and action figures,
mega constructs, Halo.
Yeah, and it doesn't have, there is no about the author.
There's no about the author.
Not in my copy. Like, I feel really bad for Mr. Dietz here. Like,
yeah, I'm checking. There's some appendices.
Yeah.
There's nothing even on the back.
He's just, all right. So Dietz,
poor Willaim C. Dietz.
So we got it. So this is the first time. This is a new author on this franchise, and this is the first time, because in The Fall of Reach, we never heard from the Covenant directly. They were kind of this. Oh, you have something?
I have an about the author section.
Okay, all right. What do you got?
Let me read this to you. Willaim C. Dietz is a New York Times best-selling author of more than 50 novels. Whoa, this guy writes, nice. Including Halo the Flood, StarCraft, Heaven's Devils, and Legion of the Damned series. He grew up in the Seattle area, served as a medic with the Navy and the Marines, and graduated from the University of Washington. Dietz worked as a surgical technician, a news writer, a college instructor, a television producer, and a director of public relations for an international telephone company prior to embarking on a full-time writing career.
Good Lord. All right, well, there's your fucking theme, ladies and gentlemen. The moral of the story is never give up.
Never give up.
It's
never too late.
There's always time to be a New York Times best-selling author.
Willaim C. Dietz is like 10 careers deep in his life at this point.
He's like the Homer Simpson of the real world. That's crazy.
And he was a former military man.
Now that's an interesting detail, just based on what we're looking at here with Halo. Very military.
Very military.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. That's good to know.
Good to know. And he wrote a StarCraft book, which, hey, we might have to circle back around.
We might see him again.
Yeah, might see him again. But enough about Willaim C. Dietz. We're going to be talking about him plenty as we discuss his writing.
True. Let's talk about Orna Folsamy.
But I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the Covenant names. I'm just going to assume that they are pronounced the way they are spelled. Because
we're going full phonetics here.
We're going full phonetics, people. And if you have an issue with that, you can email us at that's not how it's pronounced at proton.gmail.com. Yeah.
That's the only place.
Bringing out the old fake email bit.
Yeah. It's a new year. It's time for the old jokes. Yeah.
So Folsamy is he's called a shipmaster. That's basically the captain of the ship that is pursuing the Pillar of Autumn. And does it say that this is the Truth and Consequence? I assume it is, but
I think so. I mean, that's it. So far as I've read, they haven't used that term. But
that's the ship that Keyes ends up on. But I'm not sure if this specific one is the Truth and Consequence.
Right.
But we get a little look into how the Covenant hierarchy works. Because he's the ship captain. But he is outranked by a prophet who is on deck.
Yeah.
And is getting
clergy class.
Yeah, basically these religious types. And he gets an order countermanded. Basically, he's just like, just kill the Pillar of Autumn. Just blow it up.
Yeah. And the prophet says no because they're within reach of Halo.
Yeah. If one of their missiles misses the Pillar of Autumn, then they could destroy Halo.
Right, and he sees it actually. It's interesting because the prophet isn't really all that concerned. He actually even sees the ship's arrival as like an accident.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't see anything sinister about it. And for those of you, first off, if you haven't listened to Halo: Fall of Reach, you might it might be easier to understand where we're gonna go with this book if you listen to that first.
Right.
But all the same, they've just come out of it's not what is it? Slipstream?
It's Slipspace, I think.
Slipspace, something like
Slippery
that.
Slippery space.
He gets countermanded by, essentially a bishop, I guess, like an archbishop or something. It would be frustrating if you were like an admiral and an archbishop was able to just belay that order. It's like, no,
it's my boat.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing with my boat,
guy.
So he can't fire on the Pillar of Autumn, which is God. That is, man. The Covenant would have they would have had an easy victory.
We would have this would have been a pamphlet. It's interesting, and it's interesting because the Covenant, I think the Covenant point of view that we're getting here, it's worth focusing on a little because everything we know about the Covenant from the first book is based on the assumptions and the research of humanity.
Right.
And they're kind of assuming that the Covenant is like this religious sect that has been collecting races as they go, based on their abilities and strengths. And I think the interesting thing, because I didn't even know this, they point out the prophet points out that the Halo itself wasn't made by the Covenant. It's made by ancients. It's a race that they're not even aware of.
Right.
Fully. So it's been in that area of space for God only knows how long.
Right.
So it's very mysterious.
Yes.
And spoopy.
And also, I think one of the things that's interesting is that there is a perception when we see the Covenant from the characters, the human side, is that the Covenant is like this monolithic entity that is just they're coming to, even though it's made made up of all these different races, it's like all these true rabid religious fanatics. And even in this first scene, you kind of get the sense that like that's not really true. I mean, like the ship master is like, yeah, he's a believer clearly in the stuff, but he's still kind of annoyed that the prophet, like,
right.
It's not like
he's
not like, the prophet's the word of God or whatever. He's
right. Yeah, he's annoyed. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's more infighting, and we'll see more of that as the book goes on, than we've been like led to believe. And I think that's kind of common when you have an enemy. It's real easy for you to treat it like they're all united against us. It's like, no, they're fighting amongst themselves too.
Yeah, they have their own issues.
They're just pretty good at this part. That's all.
Right. So basically, they are going to board the ship. That is their new goal, is to board the Pillar of Autumn, and that takes us to Chapter 1.
Section 1,
Chapter 1. Basically, it starts right in the thick of it. The Pillar of Autumn is under attack. It's getting immediately. It's getting slapped upside the head with some missiles, so that the Covenant can begin to board. And we have seen. It starts right out with Keyes, Keyes and his crew on the deck, basically dealing with the fighters, the fighters swarming the ship and all that stuff.
Little skirmishing jet planes.
Yeah.
And Keyes sees Halo for the first time.
It's glorious.
Yeah, and immediately asks Cortana, what the hell is that? Cortana has no idea, which is an unusual situation.
Cortana rarely knows what things are. Rarely doesn't know what things are.
I was about to say, she's terrible at her job.
She's terrible at her job. She is the worst AI in the world.
Terrible AI.
But
that AI that like wrote, it consumed 1,000 romance novels and then it spat out another one. That's it. That is far superior to Cortana's abilities. She wishes she was writing romance novels.
I'm sure she does.
I mean, actually, in moments like these, I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah, we get the measurements of Halo, and it's gigantic. It is just a massive thing. They can see a hurricane on over one of the oceans on Halo. There's an actual hurricane, which is it's just remarkable to consider the size of this structure.
It was a really good detail.
Yeah.
It was a really neat detail.
Yeah.
Made me think of like the giant red spot on Jupiter.
So, they basically, Keyes' decision is, we're going in. We're gonna try to crash land on this bad boy.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's not really because Pillar of Autumn is being held together by like silly string and a prayer right now.
At this point, there's not.
Yeah, they are. He's like, look, probably not going to make it out with this ship intact, so let's just go for it.
Pillar of Autumn is like, it wasn't even battle ready the last battle. It wasn't even battle ready at Reach.
Right. And they got hit and hit again, and they're just hanging on by a thread.
Meanwhile, Mr. Sam Marcus, our new favorite character, who is going to be a main character, reoccurring character.
Looking forward to seeing what they do with him in Halo Infinite.
There's a lot of techno babble here, but basically they're unsealing the hushed casket, which is the code for unsealing Master Chief's cryostasis. And we get some if you haven't read anything, if you haven't played Halo or read The Fall of Reach, there's like a exposition dump here.
Yeah,
just like
get you up to speed.
The requisite get you up to speed on what a Spartan is. Right. Exposition.
Who
dump.
The Spartans are, what the world is, why it's a big deal. He's the last Spartan, and why that's shocking, and all that good stuff. This is just for those of you who haven't read the last book or played the game, here's the deal.
Here's what a Spartan is.
Yeah.
And then
speaking of Spartans,
Johnny Boy is having a dream.
Yeah, not of war for once.
Yeah.
He can change. So yeah, he's dreaming of a woman that we kind of assume is his mother at first, and then she transforms into Dr. Halsey, who is the woman who is in charge of the Spartan project, who made him who he is, and is kind of more of a mother to him than his actual mom. For those of you playing the home game, they literally stole these children away from their family and replaced them with cloned versions of themselves.
Yeah.
The ultimate, like, Irish legend fae changeling bullshit.
And the clone version of themselves was designed to die. It was...
Yeah. So... It's just, it's to which point you're just like, at least if the kid dies, they've got some level of closure.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, my boy.
Instead of the kid just disappearing and them never knowing what happened. So she's a real peach of a woman, is I guess what we're saying. That Dr. Halsey. And there's another small exposition dump here.
Yep.
On what we just talked about, the Super Soldier program. And Halsey then becomes Cortana, she's standing before what is basically described as like an enormous threat. There's this cloud of evil coming his way, but he himself in his dream is a powerless child.
Yeah.
Who just can't do it. And Kevin, do you have these dreams? Do you have the dream where you're in a fight, but when you go to hit them, it's like you're punching through water and you can only like kind of gently tap them on the face?
No, most of my dreams involve my teeth falling out.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those too.
Yeah.
And then I don't take care of my teeth and they actually start falling out. So
well, yeah, that's the downside is the dream slowly becomes reality.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real bummer. So when he and then he wakes up, and I liked this because when we were reading through Fall of Reach, I actually played through the first Halo game, and what happens is he wakes up, he gets thawed out, and you essentially get walked through in the book the tutorial section of the game.
I got to check the diagnostics.
Could you look left, please? Now, could you look right? And you're like, turn your thumbstick to the left to look left, and just it's basically that whole thing. And then, and this is for those of us who are supplementing our reading with the audiobook, and Kevin, I think you know exactly what I'm about to bring up here. Mjolnir.
So I had read like the first 60 or so pages just on myself, by myself with the book, and then I was doing some cleaning yesterday, and I threw on the audiobook to catch up a little bit, and it just got up. It was like, and the Spartan was standing in his Mjolnir battle armor. Like, never change Halo audio.
I was wondering
guy.
After the first, I was like, it's a different author. I didn't check to see who the narrator is.
The same narrator.
Okay, then there you go.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah, I recognized right away.
We got Mjolnir armor. Great. And then, just like in the game, as soon as your tutorial is basically over, Covenant incoming, the shit hits the fan, and they've got to go fight him.
Fire and blasts everywhere.
Explosions.
And then, poor Sam.
Oh, poor Sam.
Poor
yeah,
Sam.
So we've got the final moment. Sam's trying to protect Master Chief because Master Chief doesn't have any weapons, even though a weaponless Spartan has got to be worth like 50 regular humans. So I don't know, but Sam is blasted by a Covenant elite, and he loses this picture of his wife, and he's like reaching out, trying in his final moments, trying to get the picture of his wife. It's the most tropey.
He's just trying to get the picture and die holding the picture of his wife.
Right.
He doesn't even get that though.
No, he doesn't even get that before the elite like sees what he's doing and just blows him away. And it's really sad. I will say there are more than a few moments in this book, and I don't know what it is, but there are more than a few moments that kind of a nameless grunt or a character who we only know for like 5 pages dies, and the way Dietz writes is effective enough that I just go, oh. It's a real shame. It's just
That's
it's
a
just
bummer.
it's written not graphically necessarily, but I don't know. There's something about it that it does hit you in the feels just a little bit.
He gets his
even
head.
though this moment you could have had him say I was only 3 days away from retirement, and it would be more subtle than this tropey moment.
Then he grabs the photo, and Jesus, Lee is blowing up Messenger.
Of course he is. This is why I put mine to the side. Put it to the side. We're popular people, Kevin.
We're popular.
Get used to that shit. People want to get in touch with us.
People want to get in touch with us all the time.
Because we can give them things.
Exactly.
Because we're powerful people.
Yes. So Sam, R.A.P. Sam, lost his
Goodbye,
head
Sam.
via plasma rifle to the head. It's
no way to
gone.
go.
It's definitely gone. There would just be like a neck there.
Yeah.
And
there would be just sizzling.
And then
Sizzling.
And then the photo still just out of reach.
Right.
The elite would have put it back down, just like
He steps on it, and
steps
the
on it.
photograph sticks to his foot like toilet paper on the way out the bathroom. Just further marring it, and then it cuts to Sam's wife.
That elite,
she's fucking the mailman.
And that elite, he has the photo remains on his boot. He goes down to, he's on Halo now, and he's like just walking around, and it's just on his boot. And then the whole encounter down on Halo, he's in battle. He's living, he's fighting with Marines and the ODST, and he's got this. And then somebody's like, a grunt is like, "Hey, what's that? Is that toilet paper on your boot?" And he kills the grunt, and then he's brought up for court martial, all because he stepped on this guy's wife's photo.
Yeah. And then he finally actually sees the picture stuck to his foot after he's court-martialed, and he goes, "Oh, I owe that guy an apology. Too late now," and freeze frame, and the credits roll.
And then credits roll, and you hear, "I'm all right."
Yeah. Tune in tomorrow for the new episode of Full Covenant. So, Master Chief has got to get to the bridge. That is really the only thing he can think of to do at this point. It's chaos. He can't just like charge
it's
in.
Chaos. He's got no guns.
Too valuable. So we get lots of explosions and shooty time.
He is running on the ceiling at this point.
Yeah. So eventually, after several fights, we're going to do this a lot. And those of you who remember the first Halo book, this one's a little more actiony.
Yeah.
So
we're just going to go fast forward right through
the play-by-play.
Yeah. Unless some sort of emotional beat happens in the middle of the fight.
Unless somebody loses a photograph of their wife or mother.
We're not going to do that. We spend 10 minutes
speculating
on the future of that photograph.
So, but Master Chief eventually finds Keys, and he gets the dish. They're going to abandon the Pillar of Autumn, while Keys, everyone's just gonna, fuck off and get in the escape pods and lifeboats and everything straight down. And Keys is going to attempt to land this monstrosity on the Halo. Which is insane.
That's a terrible idea.
And I'm loving it. We missed you, Keys. Welcome back.
You lunatic.
You beautiful, stupid son of a bitch.
He doesn't end up...
Go smoke that pipe.
Yeah, he doesn't end up... he actually doesn't do it. Somebody else does.
No.
But he evacuates because he's too important.
He's an important guy. So Master Chief's main goal is he's got to protect Cortana. Because Cortana's got all the information. She's got the location of Earth.
Yeah.
That's very pointed. So he's got to protect her at all costs.
Yep.
And he
has to get out, basically. His order is get off the ship, get down to this ring world that they are.
Exactly. So he gets armed and kills his way towards the lifeboats.
Yep. Meanwhile, we got a new character, a new Covenant character.
Yes,
Isna Noso Lee.
Who I'm sure will be here for a
very long
time.
They are okay. He's a he, and he is invisible. He has an invisibility cloak on, and he is just hanging out, just watching the battle. Because
the goal for Isna is to spy, not fight.
Yes. They decided basically to. The Covenant had decided at some point to just insert these invisible soldiers into battle who are not engaging, just to get data on what's going on. And Isna the role is Osuna.
Okay.
And he doesn't like the job because he would rather be killing humans, but he's doing his job anyway.
Yeah, the way he sees it is the sooner I get this shit done, the sooner I'll be able to get back in the infantry and kill humans.
Yeah. Master Chief continues killing his way through the boat. There's some cattiness between him and Cortana.
Love it.
Classic. Basically it's let's see. Cortana started to reply.
We get more marine action.
We get more marine action. We see Foehammer.
We meet our pilot Foehammer.
Who
just a badass nickname. By the way,
she gets introduced. The first time you see her is her waiting for a grunt to round the corner and shooting it in the back of the head.
Yeah, pretty good introduction. It goes to show you, like, we are gonna get, so much of the last book was about not just Master Chief, but the whole process of becoming a Spartan. And so anytime we saw humans and like mortal men, if you will, it was mostly just to kind of exhibit how weak they are compared to, God, I'm just knocking everything over. How weak they are compared to these Spartans, unless it's someone like Keyes or Halsey or something.
Right.
That starts to kind of shift in this book. We're gonna get a lot closer to the pilots, to the ODSTs, all kinds of fun shit. Yeah. So this is one of our first moments.
Yeah, which is really neat. Because at this point, Master Chief is the only Spartan left, maybe. So yeah, you need some other human characters other than Spartans at this point.
Exactly.
We get a grunt. We get introduced to a new grunt character. The name is Yayap.
Will die for Yayap. Confirmed. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yayap becomes my favorite character in the book.
Mine too. I love Yayap.
Every scene he's in, and spoiler, we'll get to it, but every scene he's in going forward is basically just him being like, oh, do I have to?
Right. It's brilliant because Yayap, for those of you who have played Halo, Yayap's a grunt, one of those little tiny things that they'll throw a grenade at you, but if you get too close, they just run away screaming. And so, yeah. And so this is our opportunity to get in the head of one of these things. And God, he does a great job with it. He does a really, really good job with it. Yeah. It is so funny. So Yayap is, I don't want anything to happen to Yayap.
No, I don't either.
I've read so far.
So basically, they realize basically somebody dies in their little squad.
There's a massacre of
There's
grunts.
A massacre of grunts, and Yayap and his cohort are like, oh, wait a minute. We could just pretend we're taking the bodies off the ship, and we can leave.
Yeah, well, they find an elite like in this pile of dead grunts.
Yeah,
And like we learned that the grunts are no big surprise near the bottom of the caste system there. And yeah, exactly. They see the wounded elite guy and they're like, hey,
this is our job now. Let's take this wounded guy elite back onto the ship.
And then they won't send us back to fight because we're heroes now.
Right.
Which, you know what? Not a terrible idea.
Not a terrible idea. Yeah.
Not a terrible idea. We're protecting an officer. We can't fight.
His entire goal is to just get out of fighting.
I respect it. I understand it.
And then we get the ODSTs.
Yeah, we get. I wanted a closer look at these wonderful people.
Yeah, because they are lunatics for the most part.
Well, yeah, they're Space Marines. They're Space Marines from the Aliens universe for all intents and purposes. Just full of bravado. They're basically insane.
Yeah, we get,
and so they're getting like the grand like drill sergeant speech of like, we're gonna go down there and fuck some people up, you know, and we get their battle cry. He says, how will you leave? And they say, we go feet first, sir. Which I love.
Yeah. So basically they have these the reason why they become known as hell jumpers is because they have they're called HEVs, human entry vehicles. It's basically a glorified it's like a missile. They just go into a missile and they just get dropped onto the surface of the planet. The problem with the HEV is that the skin of the HEV peels away as it's entering the atmosphere. And apparently it can get so hot in the HEV, like that's how they lose a lot of their ODSTs, is just from being cooked alive in these capsules as they land.
Thus hell jumpers.
And it's an entirely volunteer group of Marines. Like they will,
which you would have to be. And the fact that they keep so well stocked is both amazing, and when you think about it, not all that amazing at the same time. You're like, no, I mean, it's not, I've known some grunts.
It's not unlike it makes me think of like the paratroopers from World War II. If you think, if you've ever seen like Band of Brothers, right? Basically their entire job was they parachuted into Normandy, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how they got in initially. But their entire gig was they did it over and over again. They were constantly being dropped from planes into new areas to take them. And and like that, there was always a chance they were going to lose a couple people just on the drop. And that's basically what the ODSTs are.
Yeah, my dad was a paratrooper.
Oh wow!
He would tell me stories about, especially World War II. You would get hung up in a tree or something, like if an unexpected breeze hit. You're in the forest and you had to cut your way out of there because it'd be real easy for a Nazi just to come by and shoot you while you're hanging up in the tree. Yeah. And a lot of I've started noticing it getting popular in certain communities I found, but there's a song that they sing, that paratroopers sing. It's to the Battle Hymn of the Republic and to the tune of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and it's called Blood Upon the Risers, and it's about a guy who's a paratrooper who jumps out of the plane on a regular standard drop, and his chute will not open, the reserve will not open. And as the lyrics go, they poured him from his helmet and they poured him from his boots. And and it's a really funny, morbid song. And this is a song that Paratrooper, the 82nd Airborne, sings this song. And it just tells you the attitude, just the absolute gallows humor that goes with this kind of thing. I have to believe that that's a lot of what the ODSTs are based on.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Being an Army brat is fascinating for so many different reasons.
Yes. A lot of you meet a lot of interesting people.
Oh yes, you do. You absolutely do.
So basically we get another segment with Master Chief, and he's fighting He's
killing his way to the lifeboat.
He continues to kill his way to the lifeboat. And he basically, he gets to the lifeboat and they're able to take off. And there's one Marine. He grabs the Marine and throws him in the lifeboat, just like right as the door is closing. And the section ends with one of the Marines saying, "This duty station really sucks."
Yeah. You know what I thought of? I would bring it up again. I made me think of Hudson in Aliens. Like, yeah, how can I get out of this chicken shit outfit? Like, just what a great. Like, that dude's gonna be seeing Game Over, man. Game Over any day now. And basically they're going down. Foehammer's flying down in a Pelican. And it cuts to Keyes, who's taking the Pillar of Autumn into the atmosphere of Halo.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Again, it's
bananas.
It's bananas. Just the sheer size bananas. Of this thing.
It's like it's not designed for this. Like it's
no.
Basically, these ships are being constructed. These ships are constructed out in space. Like they don't build them for like this atmospheric.
They don't go into the atmosphere of Earth unless shit has gone completely sideways.
And shit has gone completely sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. And we find out that not only is Keyes aboard the Pillar of Autumn, but we get another look at our friend Isna No Soli in camo on board. And it's kind of funny, and this plays into things later. He says that he never calls him Keyes specifically, but he says this guy, just one of the soldiers, one of the people on board, just looked at him and then looked away as if he wasn't there. And it's basically him saying, "Okay, good, the camouflage is working."
Right,
he looked right where I was, but then he looked away. Yeah. So I'm probably fine.
So No Soli picks out. He goes. Based on the manner in which the other humans interacted with him, No Soli felt certain that the man named Keyes, with a lot of Z's, held a position of shipmaster, a valuable prize indeed.
Yeah, so he's plotting on kidnapping.
So he's basically just going to follow Keyes around, see what happens. And then basically everybody starts leaving the bridge. And No Soli starts following, and Keyes is like, "Yeah, all right, everybody's left." Basically, the command crew of the ship, Keyes plus Hikawa and some of our other favorites from Fall of Reach are still along with him, and they double time it onto the boat. So basically, they're on the drop ship. They're on the lifeboat, and Keyes finally notices the shimmer of the cloaking device. So he grabs the gun, a gun from a Marine, and shoots No Soli.
Yeah. He's very casually like goes, "Can I borrow your gun?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." He's, "Is it loaded?" "Yeah, it's loaded. Sure. Yeah, and he just blows this thing away. And then literally, what does he say? He hands it back to the guy and goes, "It's a good gun. It does pack a punch." Meanwhile, everybody on the lifeboat is just presumably just silent with horror. They never did they say that he notices the shimmer? Because I didn't notice any reason for him to notice.
Yeah, so
I presumed that's what it was.
He frowned as if looking for something, then waited for the boat to clear. He leaned forward. Yeah. It doesn't say specifically that he notices anything. But basically, and then No Soli's the third slug from the top of the clip passed through the slit in No Soli's helmet and blew his brains out the back of his skull and freed him from the tyranny of physical reality.
What a good description that was, by the way. That's terrific.
That is solid.
Well done, Dietz. Like, it is terrific. Now, and I'll tell you what, it's a good thing because Keyes was going to have to get him one time or another. And it's basically because the first thing I thought of when No Soli followed them is everyone's strapping in. They're like strapping in because they're going to be going through an atmosphere in the lifeboat. So I was like, well, at some point, presumably this alien's going to be like the tooth in a rattle can. Just bouncing around in there. Like, they're going to figure it out. Yeah. Like, so he kind of did him a favor. Like, it was either get shot in the head or get like turned into mush by centrifugal forces. Like,
yeah,
it was, I don't know what his plan was, but he's not a very good spy. No. So I think Covenant, they got a little stronger that day.
Yeah. Not very, he didn't want to do the job, and then he did the job poorly.
Right, exactly. Which, you know what? That's a great way to get out of doing the job, but maybe not in the way you'd like.
Yeah. So the ODSTs are dropping, and we get introduced to Wellesley,
Wellesley, what an interesting character this one, if you can even call Wellesley that character.
He believes he is actually he believes he's the Duke of Wellington.
Yeah, this is the AI.
The AI literally believes he is the Duke of Wellington.
So every now and then they'll be running into something and they'll go, oh, it makes me think of the time that I was fighting against Napoleon and blah blah blah, and the sergeant has to go, that didn't happen to you.
Like, stop it.
Stop.
Just stop.
It's pretty great. We do get treated in this scene to a moment of what happens when the shoot fails.
Yes.
So to speak. One of the ODST troopers gets just melted, essentially, on the way down, and they all get to listen to her scream.
Yes, that is it's a bummer.
It's what I'm talking about. Like, Dietz will like write these moments with a character that you are not acquainted with in any way, and you'll go, oh God, that's just
like the first shoot failed, and he makes a mention that the backup shoot actually worked, but it was too late because I guess the acceleration was way too high, and just they used the phrase "dug her own grave."
Right, just boom, right in.
Right into the ground.
No burial necessary.
Yep, just already in the coffin.
Right, exactly. It's very convenient when you think of it.
Yeah.
So Master Chief is following close behind them, and a real coming in for another bumpy landing.
Yeah, they have a bumpy landing, and whoops, everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead.
He's like, oh man, he doesn't think about it, but he's like, well, maybe if I had let that Marine get into a different lifeboat, the one that he threw into.
Right. I really didn't need to grab that guy and force him to join me. I seem to be cursed from the get-go.
So the ship lands, and basically the way that you land in the game Halo, the opening moment, you're exiting the lifeboat and everybody else is dead in it. They're dead. And these opening moments, it's literally the first Halo bound mission right down to Cortana being like, let's head for the hills, there's a drop ship inbound, yada yada yada.
There is an interesting moment here that I will say. He gets attacked by Covenant basically immediately. Some elite and a crowd of grunts takes them all out, but they kind of get the drop on him, and he's surprised, and he realizes that the reason that they were able to flank him is because he's still thinking in terms of fighting as part of a team.
Yes.
And all, it's a sad moment because he kind of is reminded that all of his Spartan brethren are gone.
Right.
So he has to recalibrate his combat style, basically.
Yeah, he is a army of one now instead of an army of whatever. It was like a 4-man unit that the Spartans used to work in.
Right.
But they're all dead. Maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, he kills a bunch of them, and it is pages upon pages of.
It is a lot of. Yeah, and again,
it's just a lot of. He shoots the shooty thing.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, guys. And if you're missing that, then I found my copy on eBay for $4. Get yourself
a copy.
So far, so good.
No. Other than the teammate thing, there's no real. You're not missing anything. Emotionally.
Better yet, listen to this podcast while you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Huh? How meta is that?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We like the meta.
Pretty good.
Not Facebook meta.
What are you doing now? Are you killing grunts right now?
Are you shooting a little tube and then it's going, and they're going, ah!
Your uncles are proud of you. We're super proud of you being a murderer.
Super proud.
Super
proud of you, grunt murderer.
You crazy. We love you too. We love you too.
Yeah.
So Keys is his lifeboat goes down with a kind of no issues, relatively speaking, compared to everybody else. I'm sure the inside. I'm sure it got awkward.
Yeah. Well, now there's just like a dead body going. Blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. Hovering and like probably like think about the last time you were on a gravitron at the fucking carnival. Just burn up against the roof and then burn down on the floor.
I just imagine it's like it just being liquefied and like just blood getting everywhere.
Just everyone's the lifeboat opens up, everyone walks out. They are covered in like blue alien blood, just no one's speaking. They're all staring into the middle distance.
Oh, God.
Keys wants to know who's hungry.
So it's Ensign Lovell who piloted it down. And Lovell was the guy from the Fall of Reach who he was on that space station. And he's like, I'm fine doing it, just hanging out here. And then Keys is like, I want you.
Right. He was just bored in his section. He accidentally found basically the evidence of the Covenant coming for them.
Yep.
And Keys went, I want that layabout on my team.
And he got him.
And he's doing good. He's doing good. We're proud of him. So and that cuts back to the Hell Jumpers. Most of them make it out alive. They're all relatively close to the homing beacon, which is about all you can expect, all you can hope for. We're given an introduction to a few of the elites. Not that's the wrong word for it, but a few characters with names.
Yeah, Melissa McKay, who is the lieutenant, basically Silva's right-hand woman,
right,
and Major Silva, who is the commander of the. He's the commander of the Hell Jumpers, but I get the feeling he's kind of like over all of the Marine. He would oversee all of the Marines.
He's upper level brass, on some level.
Yeah, but he is also an ODST.
And they determined that basically what they got to do is there's a base nearby on a butte.
They got to take that hill.
They got to take the hill, and if they can take the hill, then they can set up a base and they can hold off incoming Covenant forces. But for the time, they're kind of sitting ducks.
You know what I think of, like. I'm reading this and I think of like the Battle of Gettysburg, which was centered around basically the Confederacy trying desperately at one point to take a hill, Little Round Top. Like they needed to get that hill and they never could.
No,
but yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that like war legends are based around. The fact that it's always better to be on the defense.
Yeah.
It's just always better. And if you're on a hill, even better.
If you're able to have a good defensible position, you're in good shape.
Yeah. Well, it's like where the story of like the story here from the Pacific Theater of World War II all the time is how the Japanese were these amazing jungle fighters. They just knew the jungle of these islands, all these tiny little islands,
Right.
And they just knew them backwards and forwards. That wasn't true. It's just they were on the defense,
right?
And because most of the conscripted Japanese soldiers were from like urban areas,
right?
So they but the Americans, were on the offensive, and they were just kind of marveling at how well the Japanese defended themselves, and that's mostly what it was.
That's basically what it was, yeah. So
we're back with my favorite character, Kevin.
We are back with your favorite character. Is it Yayap?
Yayap!
Yayap! Yayap! He is...
Yayap lives.
Yayap lives. Boomer lives!
Yeah, exactly. We got to make Yayap lives t-shirts.
He is now being pulled in to be this elite's assistant.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
It's like a comedy of errors for Yayap. He's like,
they couldn't have set him up to be disappointed better, because like they reward him, like they succeed, they get the elite in there. He's doing okay, and they reward Yayap and his friend with like this comfy sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
You know, so he's just curled up into a little ball, just comfy, cozy. It just doing real good. And all of a sudden his buddy like wakes him up, and the elite that they saved, whose name is, all right, tell me if I got this right, Zuka Zamami.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Check the Covenant Dictionary. He's woken up. And here, I actually saved this part because it made me happy. And he wants to show Yayap his appreciation with a couple of gigantic quotation marks around that. To show my appreciation, I've had you transferred. Yayap liked the nominally sleepy unit to which he was attached and had no desire to leave it. Transferred, Commander? To what unit? Why, to my unit, the elite replied, as if nothing could be more natural. My assistant was killed as we boarded the human ship. You will take his place. So Yayap basically fucks himself over because nobody likes a clever bastard. No. And what does the elite inform him? Oh, their mission? They got to take out the Master Chief. So Yayap, not only it would be bad enough if he was just hanging out with this combat-ready elite, but he's also going after the most dangerous person in the human army. This is
basically, Yayap is trying to fail downward, and he somehow failed upward.
He dig up stupid. Like, it is just, he is succeeding at digging up somehow. It's amazing. I love Yayap. He is just his plotline. I tell you what, I would write a like, this is the like inspirational, this is the kind of thing you want to read in like an anthology of a franchise or something. Like if you're reading like D&D anthology and you get a story of like just some lowly goblin or something like that who's trying to avoid the adventurers, the main party, at all costs because he knows he's only worth a quarter of a challenge rating and he's fucked. And somehow he keeps running into them. Like, this is basically that. I love Yayap. It's so good.
So we jump over to McKay and her group, and they're basically still just kind of figuring out how they're going to take the Butte.
Yeah. They're coming up with plans.
They're coming up with plans and backup plans and.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention before, when they landed, they actually got spotted by a couple of elites on, are they called ghosts? The little
shippies, bikes. The bikes. Yeah. I think so.
I think they're ghosts, but they spot them and they run off, and basically we're finding out what they ran off for. They're about to get charged, essentially, by Covenant cavalry.
Yeah. And it gets really into the war games here. We're talking like companies B and C are gonna have to hold here, and A and D and Wellesley
we get some ancient Roman battle tactics here. We get the Spartan kind of like this legionary infantry square.
Yeah.
Because they're getting charged, so they build up this. They form this square that's historically really effective against horses and cavalry.
Yeah, they use alternating fire, basically because it's something like the rockets that they're using only have 2 shots, so it's like they're alternating the fire of their rocket launchers, so it's a continuous stream of rockets. Yeah, it's a nice little battle, and the Marines, the Hell Jumpers, are ultimately victorious. There's a brief moment from the point of view of one of the elites, or that might be in the next chapter.
That might be in the next
I think that might be in the next chapter.
Yeah. So they take some casualties, they take some hits. But they are successful in holding them off, and they're trying. Silva's has appeared to have come up with a plan.
Yeah.
For taking the Butte, and as the chapter ends, is speculating mentally on whether or not this plan is going to work.
Yeah. Okay. So I was trying to confirm what a butte is, and it is.
It's
okay.
It's below your lower back.
Yeah. There it is.
You poop from it, silly.
It's for the pooping.
It's for the pooping.
No, the buttes are these. They're. It's less of a hill. I mean, it is on a hill a lot of times, but it's also then like has a sheer rock face.
Oh,
and then like a flat top.
Okay, it does have. Okay, because I had like a plateau in my head.
Yeah, I mean, it has a plateau on top of it.
Right. It is. Yeah. Okay, that's basically what I had.
What is the difference between a plateau, a mesa, and a butte? Sorry, I'm getting into.
Are you getting educational?
I'm getting educational right now. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to get into it. It seems like mesas are bigger. That's basically it.
Is that the only difference?
That's the main difference.
Why do they just call it a big butte?
I like big buttes, and I cannot lie.
Well, kind of opened myself up for that one. I don't really see how that could have gone any differently. Now that I think of it.
All right. When Master Chief walks in, I get sprung.
We're just slamming out the fucking t-shirt ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening. Tell us what t-shirts you desire.
What t-shirts do you desire? So, what do you think so far of this book?
I'm enjoying it. It is a pretty it's a quick ride. And it's fun. It's got a lot of good action and that kind of thing. It's not as well written, I think, as The Fall of Reach so far. But The Fall of Reach had a lot more, whereas Fall of Reach had a lot more intellectual stuff to go through and kind of heavier sciencey stuff to go through. Whereas this seems to be just straight up fighting and killing.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome. There's a lot of fighting and killing. It's it's your basic, war book, war novel. This could have been written by this could have been written by Tom Clancy and
right. Yeah, we the Fall of Reach was like Heinlein.
Yeah,
and this is more kind of Clancy. Modern, airport kind of. Again, I want to poo-poo it. It's great.
It's great. But so far through the prologue and the first couple chapters here, it doesn't have a lot of those moments of emotional depth that I would say that you get in Fall of Reach. But as an straight up action novel, it's a lot of fun.
It is. I think the thing for me that is surprising is that whereas, and I think it's good. I think it's good that we're expanding the POV a little bit in this book. But we spent so much time with the last book seeing the world from John's point of view.
Right.
And he's not really in it all that much. There's not a lot of depth for what he's just killing. He's just
killing. He just shows up in random places. He's just kind of fighting his way through. At this point in the book, all he's doing is trying to get back to like some other to some other unit. He's on his own at the moment.
Right. It's interesting. It's and that might change as we go.
Sure.
But I think part of that comes from the fact that this has source material to follow.
Right.
This has a video game to follow. So you're just kind of and if you only told it from the point of view of the main character, from Master Chief's point of view, like the video game, it would be like 100 pages long tops.
Yeah.
So you have to flesh it out, and I really appreciate
the fleshing out.
I do hope though that in future chapters and as we go that we're going to get a little more introspective stuff from Master Chief, because I found that really, really interesting.
Sure.
And I'd like to see more of
that was
fingers crossed.
That was some good stuff in Fall of Reach when we started getting some cracks in the All-American Boy.
Right. Captain America, underneath, behind the shield.
Behind the shield, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I totally agree. I fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But honestly, still a solid book. Just fun. This is this is beach reading. This is toilet reading. This is this is a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for today's episode. Join us next week, in which we dive further and into the flood. We get lost in the flood. Ooh.
The flood.
If you can, please share us on your social media. Please, really helps. Rate us 5 stars on Apple. Subscribe to us if you aren't for some reason. I don't know why you wouldn't be if you're listening to this.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this could be a first episode. I don't know.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Give us sampling.
Give us a follow.
Give us a follow,
and tell your friends about us, because it really does help. We get that extra growth when you tell your friends about us. So
yeah, the more people we have following us and rating us and listening in general, the faster you're going to get the merchandise that we have promised several times. The sooner we have that level of following, the sooner you'll get a Yayap Lives t-shirt. And I know that's what you want.
You really want
the
Yayap
what I want.
Lives.
I need that bumper sticker on my car.
All right. That'll about do it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yayap Lives.